speed to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun, as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. The moonlight, summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay on forever. We'll never have regrets. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild.
Hello! It's Wednesday. It's 2 p.m. Well, a little bit past 2 p.m. technically speaking. And yeah, indeed, it is Happy Hump Day or Happy Wednesday or Happy Do It Yourself Day. We do many things ourselves these days. It's absolutely wonderful to see you. Good morning, Rev. Good morning, Susan. And thank you for the good afternoon. A good afternoon, Hella. So, well, what's happened since Monday? Not an awful lot. Oh, well, I've been busy. Unfortunately, not with crocheting, which means that we are kind of at a standstill. But I knew that. I had a feeling this was going to happen. So it's not like we are surprised. We were kind of prepared for that. So we are still having the Hot Collector shawl. I took the liberty to route the amount of stitches of this row in the title of this slide, because I mean 1912 stitches. My goodness. And I do not think that we are going to finish row 56 today. It would be nice if we do, but I am going to be very realistic looking at how far it is, and I can tell you that we won't. Maybe later today, but I do have a few things also coming up this evening. So if I will actually practically manage that, not sure. Not sure. I had a great trip as well to Amsterdam. As always, it's an adventure. I went with the train, which I don't do very often. Then I went with the subway, which I also don't do very often. And I also went with the tram, which is also something I didn't do very often. So, it's all in all a full adventure. But it was a good trip. It was sunny. I saw my colleagues. As I said, one of my colleagues is actually finishing up with the position she has. She's going back to Sweden. So we had a company lunch, and that was directly paid by the company. So we went having a lunch for lunch, and it was fully paid for. That was kind of nice. So basically, yesterday didn't cost me a cent except for whatever I decided to spend outside travel and my lunch. So that's pretty cool. That was a good day overall, and it was a social one. And my feet was worn out. I went training in the evening because, well, I had some opportunities to do so, and it was tough. It was a rough one. But I did well. I was pretty happy with some of the things I did. So technically wise, I'm pretty pleased. Rev says he's planning on finishing the donation planning this morning. Well, let's see if we will make it while we are on this stream. Let's see. I will pop over from my dual window here again, as always. And I actually managed to drop by some yarn, in the sense of I did manage to reach to visit Steve and Penelope's. It was a bit further walk from the central station than I had estimated. I will be absolutely 100% clear about that. But it was quite an experience. Very well, nice run shop. Definitely worth a visit if you go to Amsterdam and have money to spend, because the yarns there is mainly quality hand dyed yarns, with extremely few exceptions. So it was a really nice. It was a really nice watch, actually. Like, it was a nice place to go by. Definitely not the last time. Should the time allow me, I will have to say it was just on the edge. A little bit more or a little bit less, and I wouldn't have had, like, a little bit less time. I wouldn't have had, which means that I did not manage, unfortunately, to get any recordings or photos of the store, because I was so busy just swallowing the store whole. Extremely sad. I just enjoyed the view and the atmosphere and everything. But I did not get to record anything. Maybe in the future. Also, I didn't really have the time to do such preparations either. But they really had some very nice hand dyed yarns in there. Definitely worth an inspiration, and definitely a very, very cozy atmosphere. It's a place where you, even though it's a store, can feel at home. Stephen, you might enjoy this. The Dutch fans are in Dallas for the World Cup, and they have made great impressions. Well, yeah, that sounds like something they could do. They are a very fun group. Have seen multiple news stories about them. It's okay, not everything has to be content. Yeah, no, definitely not everything has to be. It would have been cool though, to grab some, um, but yeah. So yeah, the Dutch fans are definitely there in Dallas for sure. I've seen the groups dancing, like they go left, right with the bus and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a Dutch thing. Um, 10, 12, 14. I guess they're happy as long as they're winning. Generally, they are not known as hooligan types. So I hope they're there as a party, and are having a good time. So our local club here, shooting club, not football club, it's also all set up for football, because um, they watch matches even if it's not for the Dutch team playing. They will watch them on the big television in the canteen, when they're playing there and so on, which is a good thing, I guess, because that means that people stay longer and they will hang out and they will get an extra something to drink, which is good for the revenue, because in the Netherlands we are very dependent on self-sustainability, and thus the revenue that we can create from our canteen and from the membership. We do not get lots of funding from municipality or government and whatnot. Basically, we get more or less zero funding. So we are very dependent on the different ways of revenue we can create as a club. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I'm a bit worried about the Swedish fans. The Texas weather might just be the end of them. The Nordic people are not built for this. No, the heat index was 107 degrees Fahrenheit with 90% humidity. That's about 41 degrees or so. My goodness. So yesterday, it was definitely a warmer day and the sun was shining. I was very happy I didn't bring my coat because that would have been hot. That's really hot. So I didn't bring my coat. I did have my long sleeves on, and a t-shirt, and for me that was good. The day before I would have been cold. Today the temperature is slowly rising, but thing is on Friday here it's gonna be so freaking humid you do not want to know. They are promising us towards 90s and thunderstorms basically. So yeah, and we were joking about it because yesterday we were like outside for the lunch on the terrace, and we were in the shade, and I was sitting there and I was like, it's just on the edge to be cold. Like I kind of sort of wish I had brought my jacket. And then the Swedish girl who's going home now, she was like, no, it's comfy weather. But I'm like, yeah, you're also from like the northern part of Sweden. I'm like from Denmark, and I lived here for like 18 years, so I'm totally gotten used to Dutch weather, and do not want it to be too cold, not too warm either. But people don't believe I'm a Viking when they hear how I react to cold. So the weather today here, not so far from me, is currently cloudy with a temperature of 75 degrees Fahrenheit, about 24 degrees Celsius. Wind is blowing from southwest at 10 miles per hour, and the humidity is 63, which is actually pretty okay, I think. I can definitely feel it is slowly getting warmer, so that's nice. But I am afraid that Friday will indeed be a less pleasant day with the heat coming in. But that's just how it's going to be. Meanwhile, I have everything ready to get packed so we can get the orders shipped tomorrow. So that is going to be nice as well. That's going to be so cool, getting them out of the door. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And so what I also saw at Stephen and Penelope yesterday, they also had Malabrigo yarns. So of course, the yarn addict me had to go touchy. So I hand felt them, and I can only come with the conclusion that I must get some. But at the same time, I looked at the prices they had, and I know I can get them at another web store for a bit cheaper. So I did not option to get Malabrigo yarns from them. But oh my goodness, those Malabrigo Rios, the feeling they have is absolutely out of your mind. It's so soft, it's so nice, and the colors are as vibrant as they may appear on photos. It's absolutely, I gotta get for a future project or something like that. Not right now, but they are definitely on my wish list for the future, for sure. Oh, by the way, color change. Look here, my friends, we have a color change. And if I'm not wrong, this is the piece where we can actually just crack on, but I just need to double check. Give me a second. But I do believe, yep, we can just crack on with it. No need to cut yarns or anything. We can just continue on into this new color. So we actually do have an official color change on today's live. This means that we are going from 2 strands of flamenco and 2 strands of light peach to 1 strand of flamenco and 3 strands of light peach. So it gets lighter and lighter. So yeah, color change. Kata bing bing ching. That was the little video I had to make, the little animated party, which I didn't get around yet, but I got suggestions for it. I just didn't have physically. It's not been on my priority list. I think that's more correctly said. It's not been on my priority list, and I have a few other things I need to get done, which I should have done. But yesterday I had so little time that when I finally had time to do nothing, I was ready for bed. So I need to do that later today with a few other things as well. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so we have a color change. That's awesome. But I did actually listen to you guys. So I did get myself a little bit of yarn yesterday because obviously it was not once in a lifetime trip, but it was a sort of an exceptional one. Because, you know, I very rarely go to Amsterdam. I do that like once when I need for work, and that's only, it's not kind of required. I could technically just stay away all the time if I wanted to. But I do take the leisure to actually, for certain occasions, to actually go there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And I've been with them since April last year. And since April last year, I've been there 3 times in total. So I went to Amsterdam a total of 3 times. I think that's pretty good in the sense of how often I come. Like, I try to stay away. Mainly because, like, I was sitting at the office, the window was open, and I could hear all the noise from the street. And I'm like, it's just, I really notice it because I'm used to it being silent almost. Like, I can turn on the music and so on if I want to, but I don't have the noise of traffic from the streets. It's just calm. If I have traffic here from the streets because somebody drove somewhere where they probably shouldn't be, or they live here. We very rarely have random people driving by. It is always they always have a purpose on the street. So yeah, I have to say I do enjoy the silence at home. Okay, Jan, purchase confession time. Yes, what do you think I got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I was insanely tempted by multiple of the yarns. But I had made the decision. So I did some research from home. And I wanted to find something that I could make from the yarn I got, because obviously it's not the cheapest yarn. So I wanted to make sure whatever I got, it had to be enough for a project, and a project that there was a chance that I would actually also be using. So make a guess. What yarn do you think I got? One nice hank. Plausible. plausible, absolutely. But I did get yarn. Yes, I did not get much. There's a total of 2 pieces and a pattern, because the pattern is discounted when you also buy the yarn. So then they give you a discount on the pattern rather than the full price he charges. So that's pretty cool, actually, or quite neat if you buy that together at the same time. So what I got with the pattern was a card where they gave me a discount code, and that discount code would give me, like, after I'd paid for it in the store, I could then download that with the code free from Ravelry and add it to my Ravelry library. That's pretty cool, actually. That is a super neat concept. Malabrigo Rasta. Well, I said I'd love to get me some Malabrigo yarns. And no, I did not get any Malabrigo yarns. Actually, I got some of his own yarns. So it is Westknit yarn or West wool yarn. I did not want to get the Malabrigos because for all of their Malabrigos, I can get them cheaper at another location. Then I'd rather get something I know is something properly that I can't get elsewhere, if that makes sense. So Malabrigo is a more common, quote unquote, common yarn. But not as like, I mean, I can get a reasonably decent discount at other sites for Malabrigo. I can get some of the worsted yarns for maybe somewhere between, I guess, 11 and 12 euros per hank. And I think they charged 18, 19, 20, something like that. They did charge a couple more euros than what I can get them for, if I would say, like, the Malabrigo Rios, which definitely, yes, I need to get. No, I got, let me see. I'm gonna find my Ravelry because I did already download the pattern. That's just how I am. And I'm just gonna open it. So I'm gonna show you guys the pattern that I bought. I bought the yarns to go with the pattern, just not those colors. So let's see if we can find it. Here we go. I am definitely not able to knit this piece yet. So I got the yarn. It's now in my stash for who knows if I'll ever get back. Maybe for next year, who knows? It could be one of my advent projects for next year. Like, I mean, I make these couple of projects that I really want to get finished. This could be one of them. Here it says Ravelry download is €8.75. That's because it's like 7.5 plus taxes. I paid €4.5 because I also bought the yarn together with it, which means that if we look here at the unicorn horn skinny scarf, that I bought the suggested yarn, which is the West Wool Tandem and the West Wool Glow Hair. I will find it to you just in a few so you can see it. But I decided it had to be a project I could make, and it had to be a bit special because obviously, I mean, this yarn and this project is kind of designed together, so that's kind of why I ended up making this decision. I have no clue how to knit this. Absolutely zero clue yet. It's me just jumping into it, and I'm probably going to need a heck ton of help for this, but I'll figure it out somehow. It looks absolutely freaking gorgeous. It is a skinny scarf with the same concept of the Sophie scarves, but it has this lovely edge border on it, right? Which just gives it this lovely, and that is the unicorn part, I guess, this lovely, lovely edge of it. Absolutely freaking gorgeous. Let's see if it does want to open this. No? Yeah. It's a bit slow. It doesn't want to, which, whatever. So, and here it says, hold one strand of DK West Wool Tandem together with one strand of lace weight mohair silk like West Wool Glow Hair. This little scarf is quick to knit. Well, we'll see. With just one skein slash ball of each fiber matching colors, cables along the edge create a beautiful scallop detail framing the broken rib texture. Knit the unicorn skinny scarf as a gift or add it to your hand knit wardrobe and treat yourself to a cozy cabled project. I'm treating myself. And I don't know how to knit this piece yet, but it is on my learning list at some stage. That is basically how it is. They have multiple kits on Vest Wool or on the website. Generally, they tend to come in. It's like a sandy color, and they have like more peachy color, and of course this sort of light. I'm not sure if it's light purple or if it's light rose. It's somewhere in between. I believe that's a color they call unicorn. I didn't want to go for that, and I did not go for that. I went for something that I thought would be so much better for me. And let's see if I can get on this and turn this one on. It's not really the best video here, but we'll take it. I went, so I'm gonna show it down as well. Well, maybe it's better if I just flip it back to the dual view first. I got this is the glow hair, which is this. It's called sage, so it is like this sage color. This is glow hair. It's West Wool glow hair, 64% mohair and 36% mulberry silk. It's super soft and extremely lace weight. Like, let's just compare to the threads I'm currently using. That's thick. I mean, that is kind of the difference you can compare that to. It's thinny. Definitely thinny. To tell you about the yarn specs here, and this is gorgeous, and it's soft. It's 25 grams, however much that is, but that's the half of 1.75 ounces, so that's like 80 some odd ish, 0.8 ish ounces. It's 210 meters, so 229 yards. They recommend 3.25 to 6 millimeter needles. Use needle size that results in desired gauge with this versatile fiber. Hand wash carefully in cold water. Yeah, I don't think I would put this. This yarn itself is like, I don't remember, it was 12 or 13 euros for this single skein. So it's definitely not cheap. Super nice and neat. So it's sort of a green, sage green. And indeed, right about the mohair. So that is the glow hair. And that I am going to combine with the tandem, which is a South American merino wool, also in this sort of sage green. So these are the combined colors. That was the closest of the two matches I could find, with it not being one of the classic ones. And it feels pretty nice as well. I will have to say my breakage does feel softer than this, but it still feels nice. It's not itchy. And this recommends 3.5 to 4.5 millimeter needles, so use 4 to 7. Gauge is in stockinette is 22 stitches to 28 rows is 4 by 4 inches or 10 by 10 centimeters. Hand wash in cool water. It's 100 gram hank, which is 3.5 ounces, to 233 meters or 254 yards. And it's, of course, it's a West Wool by Amsterdam, here in Amsterdam, so that is an official West Wool. 100% South American merino combined with this. I think this is going to be nice. And why did I choose these? Well, you can't see it, I think, really on this recording, but I'm going to do this a little. Hope it's not too bad for the audio. If I do like this, it's a really good color for my skin, but also they match my eyes. I have like beige sage green eyes, but it's not very visible with the current with the current video because I get like this. But look at my arrows and look at the yarn. That's a match, my friends. That's a match. That's why I chose this color. I was really debating because there was a few other I really liked. But I ended up choosing these. So this, my friends, is a fortune for a scarf for me. And that, my friend, is what I decided to do. That was what I allowed myself to do. So yeah, my stash has increased officially today. But we're working on decreasing it further this month, so let's crack on with that. Right about the mohair. Looks fun and challenging. Mom can help. I'm sure she will be happy to help me. I haven't asked her actually, because this is the first time she sees this as well. I didn't tell her yesterday didn't tell her this morning because I spoke with her this morning. But we didn't talk about me needing her help for knitting. I have another project I want to knit first before looking into that. And if that goes well, then maybe that is going to be a project, or I just keep it over for trying that out next year, because I definitely will need some help on that route. And I'd rather not have to bring it with me in a flight to Denmark. Then I would have to bring it here in July, which I could, I guess. But I can also just do call on call help. I'll figure out what it is. I'm sure I can also find some knitting YouTube videos to help me out with making certain things. I sense that I'll be fine. I am really happy with the color, for sure. And Susan was going to guess green. Yes, well, I am sort of excited too. Guys, write it down. Susan is excited about that. I purchased yarn. Just saying. I played with mohair once, felt like really nice until I started breaking out. Oh my goodness, have to give the yarn away. That's sad. Yeah, as far as I know, I have no allergies for yarn. It could be that I get, but I hope not. 14. But apparently it is a wonderful choice, and I'm happy you think so. I think it's a great choice. And I'm genuinely, yeah, it's a project I'm looking forward to challenge myself with, but it will be a challenging project. And it's definitely not a project that I need right now with everything else at the moment. But I bought it and I got the pattern, and the pattern is in my library as well as I did download it on my computer. So I do have it. And that is a good thing. So that it's ready for when I decide to start making it. It is a fancy diagram thingy, so yeah, I will definitely need to learn to read those. But I should be fine, I think. I'll figure it out. Who knows, maybe even Lisa can help. She's done a few West knit patterns, so she's familiar with them. I know that my mom is back knitting on the t-shirt that I ordered with her. But she had to temp hold it due to making this embroidered photo for my cousin's son for his baptism. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So yeah, it was a good day, definitely. But yeah, it was also a bit of a walk. It was definitely healthy for me because I'm trying these days to somehow get my 30 minutes exercise in. And yesterday, I think I walked for at least an hour because it was like a solid, probably 20 minutes walk back and forth from the station to get there, plus all the other walking I had to do to get to work and so on. So that was good. I also spoke with the doctors this morning because I told you guys last week I had blood work done to get like a general health check, just to check if there was any reason for concerns. And I'm sort of, yeah, I can't figure it out. I think I'm mainly happy with the response, though a part of me might also be sort of semi-disappointed. So the result of my blood work was that it was absolutely picobello. Nothing is wrong, no concerns to be had, which means that my blood sugar levels, also the long-term blood sugar levels, are good, as well as my cholesterol levels are good. So I'm healthy, which is amazing, right? But I still suffer from extra moisture in my legs, and it comes over the day towards the evening, and yeah, it's there isn't a solution except for probably maybe losing weight. And yeah, I kind of had hoped that they told me to do something about something, and therefore that would automatically solve the other poor parts, but it's not going to be the case. So I need to be on my own. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So they didn't seem concerned by any means about what was going on in my body, which I guess is a good thing. But I kind of hoped that they would have said, hey, Stina, if you do this, then hey, this is how you get fixed. But it wasn't. So stand still on that part. That was the disappointing aspect. They didn't provide me with a simple get-go solution. But yeah, so obviously happy about nothing being wrong and that I'm apparently living healthy enough. Yeah. But that said, I probably need to be focused on snacking less. That is my goal. We'll take it from there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Don't forget to hydrate, and that means me needing to open my tea mug because I had it closed. It's not completely freshly brewed when I brew it. It's been a little bit on the go, but that means that it's drinkable. It is very drinkable temperature, so that is awesome. But yeah, so it's just cracking along here. Bunch of double crochets, and then chain twos and skip a couple of stitches. That's every row for a long time to come. Well, I think next row is going to be another lace-y row, which would be good, I guess. But just to compare it, we had 2 rows and a row and a half for the color changes, so you can really see how quickly they pace out here as we get outer and outer, closer to the outer end, which is it's all right. Dun, dun. But yeah, so I decided that those yarns were creating a project small enough for not getting a lot of yarn. But of course, being there, I had to get some yarn because it would feel weird not to. Ish. They also ran some yarn from, I think it was an American indie dyer, so some US yarns. They also had a Dutch yarn dyer in there and some German ones. So there are definitely multiple different types of hand dyed yarns in their collection next to their own brand, which is kind of cool. Definitely. And yeah, as I said, overall, just very, very pleasant store to be in. The employees were helpful. One of them definitely knew more about knit than others, but they were also not afraid of saying, "Hey, that's not my forte. I will ask my colleague to ensure," and stuff like that. But they were definitely super helpful. It was a really nice atmosphere there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I have ends to weave in. I should probably choose to weave them in. That would make sense because I am now passing it for the, well, third time. Almost. Second/third, depending on where you look at it. Dun, dun, dun. Weaving ins as you go is best practice. It is, yes, because when you have to do them all on the end, it's no fun. Well, it's not completely as I go, but it's a little bit as I go because I do it a couple of rounds later, but I do it because I want to make sure I don't need to frog it. So what I'll probably do is I'll do another tip because that brings me far enough away, and then I'll weave it in. Nothing worse than getting to the end of a project and having 2 hours of ends of weave to weave in. Yeah, that does feel tedious, doesn't it? I don't think I've ever been that bad, though. Sometimes when I've made some projects, I have had a few extra ends to weave in, but generally, I'm decent at getting them done on the go. But I have definitely also learned not to just instantly weave them in because that can create a different level of mess. So I haven't forgotten them. As I said, I'm just gonna finish doing this tip because it's then well after. And generally, since I started counting, I don't experience the need to frog as much. So I am just ensuring every stitch that I indeed also have the correct amount of stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And then we're going to have 2 chains, another 14, and then we'll weave in some ends. Susan says, sometimes I don't mind just weaving in ends. Well, sometimes it's also just nice enough to have something mindless. That's a benefit with amigurumis. You have less ends to weave in because you can just like let them hang around, so to say, on the inside. But yeah, that is, my friends, what I gotta do. Mm-hmm. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And that's, my friends, where we said, oh, let's do the weaving in of ends. Mm-mm-mm. Do, 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 do. Ooh, I have an end I want to cut because that's a knot. That was a knotty point. I do not like to do with knots. Do, 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 do. Good. Hello, Christine. Crochets a lot. Welcome to this live. Feel free to grab something to drink. There's a bar at the corner. Right now we are weaving in some ends, but I mean, it is a fair few stitches in these rows. So, and ends enough to weave in. Not right now, but in general, because we are, after all, using 3 cakes and we are color controlling them, which means that there are, for every color, 2 ends to weave in, because the third of them I will work into the next color. And that does give a fair few ends. Newbie questions. If I make granny squares with just 1 chain in the corners, what join method would you recommend? Flattest join would be the best. You mean sewing the squares together, or are you going to be crocheting the squares together? And 1 chain in the corner will make the corners rather, like, it's a very short turn, if that makes sense. It's very, yeah, it's not very cornered because it might mean a few stitches. If you crochet them together, yeah, that will probably be some sort of slip stitch. And yes, else I would say I would recommend, if you want to have it as seamlessly put together, I warmly recommend the mattress stitch. There's some really great tutorials on it here on YouTube. The few times that I've sewn granny squares together, and I've used the mattress stitch, you cannot see the seam whatsoever, and they are very difficult to get undone if you do it in a nice way. You can even use thread of a different color and you would barely be able to see it. So these tips have two chains in the corner, so to say, or in the tip. If I only had the one, it would not be as pointy. So you definitely need two or three depending on. I think most of them have, yeah, they have two or three. It's been a while since I've made granny squares last time. And you're very welcome. This is why we are your stitchy crafty corner. Hang out and crochet with us. We help one another. Sometimes we even get simple choices as, what color should I do? Or what project to do next? Or, yeah, we have a little good group of people here who love to help one another. If you want a bit flatter, you can do slip stitch in the back loop. As far as crochet, that's the most seamless. That's actually a good suggestion. I think Rev had a very valid, good suggestion also there. Never considered that as an option. Join as you go, also possible. The amount of choices presented here. Yoo-hoo. I think every stitch until you get used to them can be seemingly tricky, but doesn't necessarily need to be tricky. It's just until you get it under your knee, so to say. The more you make of something particular, the easier, the more experience you get, and the smoother it goes. The same goes for tension and all the other things. Do, do, do. Meanwhile, we are just cracking along. Uh-oh. What happened here? So we almost had a knot in a knot. That was definitely not the intention. Do 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 do. Definitely getting there with this end. And then we can crack on with the crocheting. So I think that was more than enough end. Ta-ta. Yay, one less end to weave in later. Obviously, there will be a couple of more ends to weave in based on the system I'm using when we are on the last row, because I will have all the other places where we change yarns or cakes and whatnot. But overall speaking, it will be pretty good. And I'm happy that we have sort of taken them as we have progressed. Again, I am using the Hobby Twister for this shawl. I am using 3 Hobby Twister cakes of the colorway Rub and Cream. And with that, I am using my Clover Soft Touch hook, which is a 3.25 millimeter crochet hook, or an F hook for those using the lettering system. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Whew. And don't forget to hydrate. We should all remember to hydrate. One of the yarns they also had was a hand-dyed, like alpaca-ish yarn that also were quite nice to feel. But I do not remember what brand offered these, because as I said, there was a few different brands in there, but they were mainly hand-colored and some of them in collaboration with Westnets only. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. The wife and I are going to see the new He-Man film on Friday. I have heard it's silly and fun and weird. So everything I want in that kind of a movie. Oh, that sounds nice. Well, good luck on watching it. I hope it meets expectations. I had a meeting today with my team lead and we were discussing Claude AI. And I said I can't really find out if I'm expecting too much from what it's able to do, or if I'm not sure of what it able. Like I'm either grossly overestimating it or grossly underestimating it. Um, and I'm not really sure which of them they are. So I have a really weird relationship with it, so to say. Um, but yeah, with the amount of stitches in a row, we kind of like need multiple cakes to even do this. It's insane. LLM is only good for tasks you do not really care if they are done well. Yeah, I guess a part of me just kind of clings on to what we are used to and familiar to. I feel like this old fair horse or circus horse that knows all the tricks but doesn't feel like learning new tricks sometimes. If it's good enough, might as well be their motto. Yeah, well, if it can do my tedious tasks, why not? And we definitely do have tedious tasks. I mean, some of them are really, really sad. I just have to get done. Oh, we finished this. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Have AI make my shawl. I mean, it's right now it feels tedious because it's like do 14 double crochets, chain 2, 14 double crochets, skip 2, 14 double crochets, chain 2. I mean, it's essentially reasonably mindless right now what I'm doing. On the other positive news, I got an email, or not an email, I got a letter today from the government saying, hey, Stina, you're going to get money back in taxes this week. And I'm like, yay. Well, I knew they were coming, but I mean, the official confirmation is nice too. Oh, and I also have a glass of lemonade. In the event that I want something else to drink. And it's a lemonade without bubbles and the one you mix with water. It's a yellow fruity one. 12.14. Mm-hmm. Yep. Still on track. As I said, what I kind of maybe had gained this weekend is been lost yesterday. Um, I think we should be back on track after today in the sense of our daily track schedule, and then anything extra maybe later today is gonna be a pure bonus. Though I sense it may not happen. Because I do have things tonight. Tomorrow, I have some self enjoyment in the sense of that I will be visiting my sports massage therapist, and we'll get some parcels prepared for shipping. Looking forward to send those away. Hopefully everything goes correct. This will be the first item that I ship to the US since last year, April, or April, May. So after the tariffs, so today has been implemented. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh, wait. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And I am definitely looking forward to hear how that, if that went as smooth as they claim it's gonna go. Um, du- 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 du. Then I caved in and I got my HBO subscription back. hmm Um, which is going to be for a temporary short time in any case, a couple of months, and then it's going to be off again. I'm just going to catch up on a few things I'd like to see, and it is kind of most fair that they actually do get a little bit of money for me to stream that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So I am catching up where I left on the pit. Then also, obviously, I've watched A Night of Seven Kingdoms. Heard that they renewed for a second season. That's great. Then we're of course getting a Dance of Dragons, or what is it called again? House of Dragon. Which I think is well made. Then there's also The Gilded Age, which I'm really keen on watching because I haven't watched it yet, started watching it yet, but it's a great piece because it's very much alike the lines of Downton Abbey. So we're definitely looking towards that direction. That's pretty much it right now, I guess. Then I'm missing the last 2 episodes of Clarkson's Farm. They should have been released today. Maybe, I don't know if I'll have time to watch both of them tonight. Because what I really need to do, and I think that's good regards for my health, I need to go to bed on time. I really need to make sure I do hit the pillows before midnight rather than after midnight. It's been really bad habit. 10, 12, 14. Because I still get up on the same time regardless of when I go to bed because, I have to get stuff done. But if you don't get your sleep, that's just not good for your body. So I need to be a little bit better in going a little bit earlier to bed. That would be good for my health. Even though my blood works are fine, according to the doctors. But I mean, I'm probably not the only one getting distracted by something, and they were like, "Oh, I'll just watch this episode, or I'll just finish this episode, or whatever," right? Let's be realistic. Chop chop. Being realistic would be the best thing for me, regardless of the situation at hand. And as I said, I am really, really bad at going to bed on time. One more row, am I right? Yeah, kind of that. One more episode would be while I'm like crocheting, or can I finish this row? The thing is, right now with this particular project, I know I won't finish a row in 15, 20 minutes or half an hour or whatever. Not like if I'm trying to finish a row with this one, it's gonna be like, if I'm halfway through, it's been an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, right? So at least with this one, I can't do the one more row. I'm right, but I guess that's the same. Yeah, when I finish what I'm doing, and I don't feel that tired yet, but reality is just next morning when I wake, I am definitely that tired because I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to get out of bed now. But I would rather turn around and continue sleep. So I need to be a little bit better taking care of my sleep. That would probably help a few other things too. 12, 14. So, yes. That, my friends, is what I need to do. I need to just, go to bed when, and the thing is, I have to say, a part that's made me really happy. So I got the iWatch, and it tells me like which routes I've walked, how active I've been, and stuff like that. But it also tells me, based on the sleep routine I'm trying to do, it will like warn me saying, "Hey, it's time to relax and prepare to go to bed." And I get the warning, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll just finish this," instead of being like, "Okay, I'll just end here," because I can end here. It's not a problem, right? Like your streaming services will definitely remember. Oh, a stitch too many. Your streaming services will remember where you stopped. They will continue where you stopped. The crochet, you just enter your stitch marker. It will, You can stop wherever you want. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Or if you feel like you need to do something, you can just do the last 2 or 3 stitches that you feel if that's a better point to stop. But I mean, you don't need to finish it all, right? I just need to be a little bit better at being like, okay, I really should go to rest now. So that is a goal of mine, to be a little bit better at actually taking my rest when I need to. I guess I'm not the only one with that problem, am I? Like, a part of me hopes I'm not the only one with that issue. Ah. Meanwhile, we are just cracking on with some more double crochets here. A lot of more double crochets. It's a little bit of a chill Wednesday, I feel. Not too much going along around in the crochet world. I guess Lisa is sleeping in. I'd love to hear her reaction on the yarns I got myself. Guess what? I see more ends here, and they are from even previous rows. So these ends, my friends, we're gonna have to sew in when we get there, because it looks like, I wouldn't say I've forgotten them, but I've postponed them. Maybe to make completely sure I didn't need to frog. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Skip 2 and crag on. It's still gonna be, let's see, 1, 2, 3 tips ish. That's a good point. As I said, I do like to kind of pass it a bit. Then we'll find the darning needles again. I have a whole collection of ends. You're gonna dump all those ends into some kind of amigurumi at some stage. I have a feeling that it's gonna be just a fine filling. It's on the end, it's fibers, right? And it feels more used, so to say, if you use all aspects of it. 8, 10, 12, 14. Reminds me there are also other things I need to make, like the buttons and so on, but that is not the focus point. Focus point right now is we gotta finish this shawl. I mean, it's the 17th of June, which leaves us, if we want to have it finished in June, with 13 active crochet days. And I do have other obligations during those active days. So We just gotta get the best out of it. We are, though, getting closer to the end, but I mean, I still think it is going to be a close call if I'll finish this in June or not. Feel free to come with your valid guesses. Will I finish it in June or will I not? We are definitely getting closer to the edges here. Oh my goodness, there are more, but that's from the last row, so we only have to crochet past that in any case. Do do do. So, Rev, are you still on track to finish a project within the next hour, hour and a half? Or will you need some time after? And when you say you wanted to finish it this morning, would that be including weaving in ends, or how are you looking at that part? One more tip. Complete. Going down the side. Cracking on those double crochets. Well, the thing about that is, give me until the end of this tip at the bottom and we will go have a look. Just a few more stitches. Well, one to be exact. We'll do a quick count. Should be okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. We can go have a look. Ooh, it's looking good. I just need to flip it over. There you go. Stony Brook's Nation blanket made with Lion brand bundle of love in the colorway Mermaid. It's lovely. I like how the colors come together in such a simple pattern. Very nice. Absolutely very nice. Did you finish it or are you still needing to do a couple of rows? What is the thought? Oh. It's finished. Okay, cool. Looks good. I absolutely adore these color transitions in the yarns. I think it worked up insanely nice for a gradient yarn and something that's not color controlled. Good. It's 40 by 40 inches. That's a nice size. The variegation is very short. Each color is only an inch or two. Yeah, it's a short color change. I had that with some of the, I think that was puppeteer yarns. And I still have some of those in my stash actually, like a bunch of them. I've been debating if am I gonna knit hats with it or what am I actually gonna do with this yarn. I could potentially also knit something else with it. I mean, if one wanted a very colorful display, because it's only a few stitches every color. I prefer that when working in the round. Yeah, that the variegation is short. We're gonna finish this tip, and then, my friends, it's darning needle time. Longer colors changes, you end up with weird lines running up one corner. Yeah, or color pools differently, right? It tends to color pool at some stage. But that also can happen when you work in the round. Do, 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 do. It was nice to work up just a super simple project. Well, I guess in the sense of right now, this is nice as well because it's just the same, but I'm also at a point where it feels a bit mindless because it's so much the same. Yeah, no thing, just granny. It is definitely a couch project, right? Like you don't need to look much. It's just doing. You don't need to keep track what row am I on. It's just okay, row finished, increase. Um, Not so much. Okay, what stitch am I now gonna do, and where do I need to insert them, and how many do I need to skip? 10, 12, 14. Did a bunch while you're watching TV. Sounds like something I would have done, except. So I wanted to take this for the TV watching Monday. Remember we talked about that I wanted to say I could do this while watching TV. Guess what? I didn't bring it because I had forgotten that this weekend I had bought some fresh strawberries, and we were going to have strawberries on like in the Netherlands. It's very common to do a sort of a biscuit or cracker-ish thing with a bit of butter, and you slice strawberries and put them on top, and then on top of that you do whipped cream, and that was our evening snack. And that can be quite crumbly because the biscuit slash crackers are so dry that I decided I did not want to submerge these into potential cracker crumbs. And I decided not doing it. And I would have felt very horrible if we had had to throw out the strawberries because that they had gone bad. So I chose the strawberries opposed to the crochet. I had sort of forgotten it totally because like we're about to sit down and then my partner's being like, "Hey, honey, didn't you buy strawberries this weekend?" I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, I did. Let's get them used." So and genuinely almost forgot them, which is very sad, of course, because strawberries are nice. What I really do want to would be to I also have strawberries in my garden, but I was thinking I wanted to make like a wall of strawberries actually on my terrace. That could be pretty cool. On the side, and then have multiple strawberries planted into that. I could see that as a very, very viable project. Nah, probably not. It would have helped me making the deadline a bit, I think. But it's probably not what's gonna cause the deadline to slip. That's just as well as all the other projects I need to make currently. Well, not for crafting, but like other real life applications. Mm. Do, do, do. That I would imagine being a bigger issue. But yeah. It's probably not going to make the difference. But they were really good. It was some really good crackers with strawberries, though. I definitely don't regret eating them. One more end done. And we'll have another end. And then we can crack on with the crocheting bit. I mean, we're not even at the zip yet. With 4 ends woven, 3 or 4 ends woven in, and we're like 1.5 hour in. Yeeks. Mm-mm. So, oh my goodness. Do, 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 do. So yeah, I need to get a bit better at still picking it up, even though I don't have that much time, because the thing is, every few stitches do count. But sometimes it's also just nice to not crochet at all. Take a chill. And I mean, we still have a fairly few projects coming up for the year that we gotta finish up. And I'm like looking at this yarn next to me, being like, oh, it's so nice and feely. But it's because there's silk in it, right? It's mohair and silk. How did God figure out to develop silk and goat mohair like that? like, if we believe in such thing. It's the evolution of Darwin, I guess. And to some extent, when it comes to mohair goats, it's selective breeding, which is in the end kind of caused by us, right? Because sheep back in the days also didn't have the amount of wool as they have today. It's also done through selective breeding. Oh, these sheep have more wool, we'll breed on these, and those sheep don't, so we'll cull those. And then some of them have even done both, right? And they will be like, oh, we have a sheep that's good for both meat and wool. So I guess that's just how it goes. Because it's the same with cattle. People can't see the difference. Well, regular people, I should say, who doesn't have a clue where food comes, can't see the difference between beef and dairy. Have you ever seen a painting of a watermelon from the 17th century? I don't know if I have. Do you? Have you? I don't know if I have. Like, I've seen plenty of Van Gogh and so on. Like, but Van Gogh isn't 17th century. Humans have been shaping our natural products forever. Yeah, but watermelons, I'm sure, aren't that natural either. I just, for funsies, did Google it. So here's the Google results about various stories. And genuinely, I can't believe that we have made it more fleshy by only choosing the seeds for those that had more flesh compared to those with lesser. So I think indeed we have done selective breeding for thousands of years because it, that's the same. When we made the domestic dogs, at some stage we have chosen to pick the wolves or whatever canine that was more docile or more easier to tame than those that had more wild spirited genes, right? So we have intentionally chosen to breed for traits, and we've done that for thousands of years. But at the same time, like I'm impressed with the cleverness of people, I guess, that we figure out to do it like that. That we figured out. Oh, but if we choose this, then clearly there are traits to be had. Um, Cats domesticated themselves. Yeah, because they realized that they could get food if they got themselves domesticated. No need to hunt. If we purr a little bit, Master will bring food. In North America, raccoons are doing that as well. Seriously? Wow. I had not expected that. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I had not expected that, but I'm not surprised either, I guess. I mean, it's clever to be friends with people that is likely a food source. Raccoons are showing a lot of secondary characteristics of domestication: bigger eyes, rounder ears, and shorter, more rounded snouts. Oh, interesting. But it's, I guess, also because they probably need it less for what the purpose originally were, if they can get food scraps from the bins and so on, right? And from the alleys and cities and whatnot. They figured out being less afraid of humans means easier food. That's basically what we say about the cats, right? Like they will look at you being like, Master, serve my food now. And you'll do it. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Or more likely raccoons that they were naturally less afraid to breed more. The raccoons that were naturally less afraid breed more. Yeah, because they don't spend the time fleeing or being afraid or securing themselves. They're just being like, okay, we'll be fine, so let's just continue to do our dirty stuff. And they had more food as well because they had everything more ready available because they weren't afraid being in the vicinity of people. It's similar with foxes, I guess. Pigeons, for that matter. Foxes are slowly domesticating as well, but it's a more concerted effort. Yeah, that could be 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I mean, we see that here in Europe at least, that they are domesticating themselves more. The same with squirrel. If you look to the UK have two types of squirrel. They have the native squirrel, which is the brown squirrel. You don't see them many. And then they had a bunch of gray squirrels from, I'm not really sure where they're from, if they're American or where they're from, but they have a lot of these extra like gray squirrels coming in, and they take over the brown squirrels' places, and they're not afraid of humans, and they're literally everywhere in front of your nose. Like the amount of squirrels is insane. Like I once walked in Sophia Gardens, and they were like almost running between your legs. Gray squirrels are from North America, yeah, and they are this an invasive species in the UK, ensuring the endangerment of the brown squirrels there. And they have almost sort of been semi-domesticated because they are not afraid of people at all. They will keep a healthy distance of, let's say, 2 meters, 2 or 3 meters, but they will just keep doing the thing as if you were there or not. They will first yield when you get a little bit too close. So, I also see that with deer some places. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I guess it's similar to New Zealand. They also have invasive species, and basically people would get paid to kill certain species. I believe they have. Oh my goodness, opossums. Possums. That's invasive and really causes problems with the local fauna in New Zealand. So people would be paid to kill opossums. So yeah, the tube rats are about domesticated as they're gonna get. Their brains are not big enough to get much further along. Oh my goodness, rats. Yeah, no, rats is just another story on its own, I guess. My mom told me the other day that it was now evident that the neighbor had rats in his garden, and he kind of refused to do anything, and the municipality can't do anything, even though that they have reported him for having rats. But they are not allowed to, because people have apparently been, like, if they had a neighbor feud, people can report people for having rats if they don't have. And my mom even has like photos, clear evident photos that the rat is in his fucking garden. And he's not going to do anything about it. He actually doesn't care, because why is it that he has rats in his backyard? Because he just throws his food scraps on the back garden instead of throwing them in the actual food scrap recycling. Tube rat is a squirrel. Ah, okay. Good morning, Lisa. Hope you had slept well. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I was trying to hold off telling all the news until you came around, but you have been sleeping in, as you said you would likely to do these days because of the son being out of school. So I had good news from the doctors after my blood work. It's picobello. In other words, it's perfect. Picture perfect. No complaints, no warnings. No concerns regarding cholesterol or sugars and whatnot, which I guess is a really good thing, but I'd kind of hoped that they would tell me to do something less. I think I am going to do a few things a bit less still, regardless, just for my own health. And I think it's better for me. But it's not as bad as I thought it was, so I guess that's a good thing. So that is indeed fantastic, but I kind of hope them to give me a kick in the ass, being like, hey, Stine, you should eat less fats, whatever. Crazy stuff, right? So it doesn't really solve my issue, but it's fine to know that it's good. So the not solving my problem is kind of the sad part of it, but the great part, obviously, is that there is nothing to be concerned about. I deserve a reward, thank you! Well, I do deserve a reward for having it picture perfect. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And I was told this morning, because I should have called yesterday, but obviously I didn't have time yesterday. I was busy. I was in Amsterdam. That was a great day. I had my lunch paid. I had my travels paid. Well, my travels is not true, because I prepaid my travels and I will get it back as additional salary in July. But overall, yeah, one can say that that it's like, I'll be fine. I did actually end up. So I wasn't sure if I would reach to go to Stephen and Pelops because it was a bit on the edge. I looked at the clock when I was at the central station, being like, can I actually reach this? And I looked at the amount of distance I had to walk and was like, it's going to be a short one. Like, as in, I need to be efficient when I'm there, and I don't have time to sit an hour and do nothing or record or anything. So I didn't. Sorry. I should have taken at least just 1 or 2 photos. That would have been fine, right? Like, I wouldn't have hurt. But I didn't, because I was just so overwhelmed. It was a very, very nice store. Definitely, if you ever come to Amsterdam and you have time, I do recommend to go give it a watch, because it is a very cozy store. The staff was helpful. I got to touch Malabrigo yarns, and Stina decided Stina wants to get Malabrigo yarns, just not from Stephen and Penelope, because they charge a bit more than where I can get them for a decent price. So I optioned to not get the Malabrigos, but I touched them and decided that I will definitely need to get some at some stage. Right? And I did get myself some yarn. I got myself some yarn. And before going there, I did some home research, because I was being like, in the event that I do get time, what do I want to get myself? And I decided to find some small project where I could use maximum, let's say, a hank or something like that. So a small project that would be good. Malbriga sounds like a good reward for a perfect health report. Yeah, except that I got a health report today and I were in Amsterdam yesterday, so that's kind of like I didn't knew yesterday. We agreed that I was allowed to get yarns because it was the same as vacation yarn, because I go to Amsterdam like what, once or twice a year at best, not twice a year, maybe thrice in this case. It was an exceptional extra trip that was absolutely anything but planned. Well, it kind of got planned because of my colleague stopping. So went to Amsterdam, everything paid, got lunch paid, and I calculated I had about an hour when I was at the central station. It would be a 20-minute walk. So it was a 20-minute walk to Stephen and Penelope's. I spent maybe 20 minutes there, and I walked 20 minutes back. And I want to say 20 minutes felt like absolutely nothing. I wish I had more time. But in the end, it was perfect because when I walked back, I had a 5-minute wait at the central station and I could get a direct train back home. I only had to change once, which is really only one transfer. Normally, I would risk getting at least 2 transfers, so that was really good. So timing-wise, it was actually quite nice. And that was not calculated before I went. So, and even Susan agrees that I was allowed to get yarn because she said that Monday, right? When we were in this, everybody was like, yeah, you can get some yarn because you're so rarely in Amsterdam. That's fine. That's okay. That's an exception. So yeah, I did spend money on yarn and I did get yarn, and I did get yarn for a project for me, for moi. I don't know how to do the project yet whatsoever because I don't know how to knit this, but I got a knitting pattern with yarn to go with it, and I still have the pattern listed here. So I'm gonna show you guys what I got. So I'll pop over here and say the pattern and yarn I got the pattern for the unicorn horn skinny scarf by Stephen West. I think it looks so gorgeous, right? This skinny scarf. And it's basically a strand of DK West wool tandem together with a lace weight mohair silk like West wool glow hair. So I got one of each. Not in this color. I did get them different colors. I'm gonna show them a few. It's cabled along the edge, which gives this scallop detail, framing a broken rib texture. And it's great as a gift or as a part to my hand-knit wardrobe. And I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to trying out this. I have no idea how to knit it yet. And also what is to said about this pattern, it's I got it discounted in the store, probably like 30 or 40% off the pattern, because I bought the yarn to go with the pattern in the store. So they gave me a little note. Not gonna show everything, but basically I got this being like, logo code for Ravelry, and I could go and download it for Ravelry with that discount code for free. So it's in my Ravelry library right now. So I'm definitely looking forward to make that. Then vacation yarn is highly encouraged. Okay, every time I go to Amsterdam, I'm allowed to buy yarn. Yoo-hoo! I'm going to Denmark in July. I really shouldn't though. So I got obviously one skein of glow hair and one skein of tandem. Or more technically correct, I got a skein of glow hair and a hank of tandem. So this is a glow hair, and I got it in this absolutely freaking gorgeous sage color. Sage green. It's also called sage. Glow hair is sage. Super sweet, soft. As I showed earlier today, this is definitely lace weight. Check this out. That's the difference in thickness. And it is definitely less than half size, if it's even a third size of this twister. The only reason it seems thicker is because of the halo from the mohair, right? The glow hair here is a Westwool glow hair. It's 64% mohair, 36% mulberry silk. The silk is also what gives it this bit of a shine feeling to it. You have this slight idea it shines. If you like just brush over it, you can kind of see it sort of shines off it. It's a 25 grams skein to 210 meters or 229 yards. And it's definitely hand washed carefully in cold water. So that is the glow hair, which is kind of cool. They had multiple colors, but I went with this one because this one matches my eyes. And then, of course, I got a sage as well in the tandem, which is 100% South American merino wool. So I'm gonna double strand these two to get that. Oh, that zoom. Now you can really see that glow of the glow hair. That's a mulberry silk that makes that. So I'm gonna double these up for making that unicorn horn skinny scarf. And it should take exactly one of each. So I am looking forward for that. The tandem here, it's 100 gram hank. It's DK weight, so 233 meters to 254 yards. And also wash in cold water. So that's what I got myself. They had so many other lovely, gorgeous skeins. And I genuinely actually wanted probably to get myself one of those Malabrigo yarns. But as I said earlier in the stream, I can get Malabrigo yarns cheaper elsewhere than Stephen and Penelope. But I had this opportunity to feel all the Malabrigos, and yes, I do want to get some of those yarns in my future to add to my stash and to likely make some knit projects from. Abso-freaking-lutely. So it is on my so-called wish list. Do, 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 do. $14. Very beautiful yarn, definitely. Well, I was a good girl yesterday. I destashed over 50 balls of yarn. Stria was the lucky winner, or your local craft community? I mean, definitely a good destash. So you cleared it out. Somebody else got the issues instead. I didn't destash anything yet. I added 2 pieces to my stash. I should actually add them to my Ravelry because technically it is more. So I should do that. Not in a rush, but I definitely should get them added to my Ravelry stash. She took it all, but most of it is going to her friends. I guess it feels really nice to share, right? And if you know that you're likely not going to use it yourself, then why not move it on and make somebody happy? Need to watch what I'm saying. Suddenly I get home and my mom is like, do you want all this yarn? And I'll be like, because I wouldn't know where to store it. So mom, don't give me any yarn. At least not yet. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I do not have room right now. Part of the reason I have so much yarn is Yarnspirations used to have a factory outlet website. They have since closed it, but I could get ridiculously cheap and I had to buy in the case. Yeah, I guess that's when we see these amazing sales. We just can't not do it, so to say. So yeah, I guess I can understand. Most definitely. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I guess that's a general issue for all of us. We see these amazing deals. It's the same when I see them on Facebook. Right now, I saw one and I'm really tempted to get the yarns. It's cotton yarns, and I'm like, I should. I ignored it in the hope that somebody would likely buy it. Now I'm actually going to look if it's bought or not bought yet, because maybe if it's not bought, I should grab it. Ah. So where was it again? Whoa. Marktplatz, something like that. It's like a local. It's still there, but it's reserved. I mean, honestly, it's like, I think it's like 60 some odd skeins, and they're asking like only 30 euros for it, which is an insanely good price. And I'm kind of happy it's got reserved, because that means that I'm not buying it, because I know I shouldn't buy it, but it's an insanely good price. I would have been it's stupid that I didn't react on it yesterday when I saw it. But I really should not get it at the moment. So I guess I'm happy I didn't, because I really shouldn't. But it feels so wrong, because it was like more than half price off. It was like 60 to 70% off normal regular price. So it's somebody who stopped whatever they're doing and then they just destash whatever they have. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And then there is me being like, oh, I should get this yarn. I should get this yarn. I should get this yarn. But it's been reserved, so I really, really shouldn't, I guess. Unless I should be so clever to sign myself up for the event that it doesn't go through. But I mean, it's 65 skeins. I really should not. but it's less than €1 per skein. It's like 50 cents per skein. So it feels so weird not reaching out. It's such a nice deal. Like I got balls for Bernat Baby coordinates for 50 cents a ball, but I had to buy a case of 20. That yarn also has been discontinued, but it was like $8 a ball. Yeah, that feeling. I totally understand it. I genuinely do. Susan says it will always be inexpensive yarn, so I don't think you missed out. Definitely not. But this is good yarn. It's drops cotton yarn. Like I can make bucket hats from it. I can make amigurumis from it. It's the same yarn I used for when I was making this little octo or jellyfish. Sorry. So it feels so weird just sitting and looking at it, but I'm at the same time I'm happy I didn't get it because I really don't have the room. I have so many other things I should get going and moved on first, right? So yeah. I have plenty of good yarn. True. It's only because it's so cheap that it feels weird not moving on it, if that makes sense. Like it's such a good deal. But reality is I convinced myself I was a good girl when I saw it yesterday to not react on it. So I'm still actually a good girl for not having done it. But the deal was really, really good. But I also still see plenty of these yarns on sale on the like eBay type markets, though they are at a less good deal. But I mean, I don't need it. 12. I can't count. No, it's correct. It should be 16. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I mean, I didn't buy it and I didn't write them. And it happens to be reserved now, so somebody is interested, which I don't blame them for being either. I mean, I want to get it. But I didn't because I didn't. um, there will be new opportunities in the future, and I have so many projects I want to do that we should do here the coming months as well. And that will create more room. And of course, I want to, and that's still kind of the goal, to see how much yarn that I need to stash all of my yarn before I even consider starting buying. Well, I did buy vacation yarn, but which isn't really vacation yarn. It was my trip to Amsterdam yarn. I rewarded myself to walk all the way because it was a fair walk. And then this was still when my mom was alive and she would order from them too. And then when she passed away, I inherited all her yarn. Oh my goodness. But you also have like you have a whole crafting room, right? Like, I'd love to have that. But I could probably, if like really cleaned out all of it in my guest room, I could maybe find room for it. But it would be a tough call. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Skip 2, then this one should have 18 double crochets because we are heading on to the tip. So I mean, I just need to be very clear in getting things used and put it on the website and getting it on the system, so to say. Tomorrow we are creating more space. Because tomorrow parcels are being shipped. Yay. After I destashed last night, I have 9 empty cubes in my yarn room, and that makes me very happy. Oh my goodness, that is 9 cubes you can fill with new yarn. No, sort of fill with new yarn. Itchy, 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 itchy. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Ah. Yep. I didn't destash that many cubes. Nope. No bueno. I think last time I destashed was at Christmas, which was like 3 skeins. And my auntie was like, okay, why did I get that? It's not really enough to make a project from. And I was like, yeah, but it's filting and I have no clue what to use it. So I consider it a bonus present for whatever you wanted to make. um, The Street should be finding out gender of a baby soon, and I'm hoping before Premier's big summer sale, and I'll be ordering yarn for that baby, at least 3 baby blankets worth. Ooh, yeah, well, let's just hope that the Premier holds their sale a bit late then, because that definitely gives us more time to find out the gender. Do we have gender reveal party here in chat when it happens? Like, ta-da-da-da! Because we'd all love to know, of course. Premier sale starts July 7th. Okay, so we have another 2.5, 3 weeks at best. Is that realistic, Lisa? Do we know anything before July 7th? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Perfect. Will we know before then? Meanwhile, we've done like half a row during this live, but we have talked nice yarns. It's realistic. Okay. Oh. Crossing fingers. Crossing fingers. Or else, in worst case, Lisa, you'll just get natural, neutral colors. Like no blues or pinks, but greens and yellows. I stopped being lazy, cleaned up the yarn from last project, and selected colors for the next. Ooh, I am curious what is going to go in your hook, Rev. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Of course, first priority is a healthy baby, but I am really hoping to be able to order pink yarn. You have a grandson already, if I remember right. So, or do you also both have a grandson and granddaughter? I'm in doubt now. But I have the idea that you already have a grandson, so in that sense, a granddaughter would be ideal. Only a grandson. Okay, my memory did help me being correct here. It would be nice with one of each. This one is going to be a double crochet V-stitch in the round. Yarn choices are mint, arctic, and light blue loops and threads, staying in the soft blue veg of the color wheel. Ooh. The light blue is the darkest of the three. I am curious. And my last two babies were also boys. Yeah. You don't really have a say in that, right? It's just a question on how the wheel spins. It does sound gorgeous. Maybe we can see at least some progress Friday, because we are live on Friday, my friends. I'm gonna be live with you guys on Friday. We'll crack on with the crochet here. Meanwhile, I do hope to have some done while in between now and then. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Technically, I need to have a whole color done tomorrow. But I also have a meeting tomorrow and other things. So it might be a long shot. So I feel I'm ready to do catch up this weekend. But we have a total of 2 whole weekends to go before July 1st. And yeah, if I haven't done this before July 1st, I'm afraid, guys, that my yarn consumption for June is gonna be really sad. My yarn consumption for July, though, will rock the skies. It would also be really awesome if I finish this in June, because then I'm back on track for my average yearly yarn consumption. Maybe a tiny bit ahead even. So another reason for cracking on. Oh, I do apologize for my yawning. Look upon my work, immortal and despair. Oh my goodness. This, my friends, is what we are looking at. That's a nice color palette. I think that's a good choice. And you cake them. Cake them while listening to me rambling on. Nice. Love the colors. It would go great in a triple knit beanie too, except they're probably a bit too thick for those purposes. Lisa says, Jugglies threatened my son-in-law with when they were pregnant with my grandson, I told him he better give me a grandbaby with his hair. He must have been probably scared of me because he did. Preferred cake up yarn. Cake yarn sometimes just works easier, doesn't it? And I agree with Lisa. It's a beautiful palette. Susan also agrees. Great color combination. I'm going to do 3 rounds of each color until it hits 40. Will you, let's assume that you'll be at 39 point whatever inches at the third row. Would you then still add an extra row to kind of make it even? Or do you just want to stop at the size? Or let's say if you start with the mint one and then you do the lighter like turquoise and then the blue, and let's say you've done 2 of them and you need to make 1 full repeat to kind of make it like after 2 rows you're at the right size, would you then still add the third times 3 rounds to kind of make it visually nice? It needs to be 40 inches, so however it lands. So you can't exceed 40 inches, or how do I need to understand this? The hospital system only wants 40 inches. Okay. Fair enough. It's for the lap guns type for like wheelchair users and so on. It fits the beds. Ah, yeah, okay, for the feet and whatnot. Right. We are still cracking on. I think we've talked a little bit too much on because I don't think we'll have the actual color change, but I will definitely have it either later today or tomorrow, which means that it will be a cake change because the physical color change we had earlier today. But I'm not working this color in full, but I'll probably be pretty close to where we left the other one with. So I think we still did a good day's expected work for trying to have this one finished on time. Oh, what was a stitch too many? Plus they only have so much storage space. Valid concern too. Oh, I'm sorry about my yawning today, mates. Apparently I am tired. So what's for dinner? We are having leftovers because there was enough leftovers to be had. So we are still on the salmon leftovers with spinach cream. And I end up postponing that a day because that would feel better with everything from yesterday. So it's kind of day 3, even though, so we had it Sunday, yesterday, and today. And, it was because we just kind of like only took half of what was left yesterday. And I looked at my partner and said, like, it's kind of enough for leftovers tomorrow, but I don't guess you would like that. And he's like, yeah, it's actually okay. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's save the cash and prevent food waste. I am in agreement. Oh, what I really should do though, I do feel it's a bit warm now. It's getting warmer, which is not totally crazy because honestly, friends, it's getting like warm outside too. As I told you guys on Friday, we may have rains and thunderstorms, and me being like, "Oh my goodness, the world is killing me," just from humidity alone. Teriyaki chicken and rice bowl here. The wife's favorite, so she likes taking it for lunch on her last day at office of the week. She's in office Tuesday to Thursday. That makes good sense. That is also then why I hear often that you're gonna have teriyaki chicken. I mean, I get it. If it's something that's tasty, why not? For us, it was a long time ago since I've made it. This creamy salmon spinach pasta mix. Um, but this weekend, when I was grocery shopping, spinach happened to be on sale. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it because that's probably the only part of those ingredients ever going on sale. Well, not completely ever, but the least likely a part to go on sale. What I do think I want to do, and I should have done that earlier today, I would want to take this last salm steak up and fry that on the pan so we get a little bit extra fish. That would be a good idea to do. So that is what I'm going to do. Take that on a small pan and fry it. My Monday and Wednesday dinners are pretty set most of the time. The rest of the week changes based on need and want. Yeah, and sometimes I also just look at what's on sale. Right? Like if there are things on sale of the ingredients, sometimes I might be inclined to make that because of then just using the financial system, so to say. And meat, if that goes on sale, I'll just freeze it if needed be. I hear something, but I think it's next door. Sounds funny. But it has to be next door. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Yep, that does. Rev says, I tend to buy a lot of staples and vacuum and still freeze for meat and keep in my pantry. Lisa just makes whatever she has ingredients for the house. Well, also I do that sometimes. But if specific things are on sale, I will tend to get extra of it. There are some things that rarely gets on sale. And also we do have like a business card for something similar to Costco, I think. Where we would go there sometimes, and if I go there, I would always get chicken breast fillets because they are just cheaper than buying them in the store. But I also then need to get like 5 pounds of it because that's like the minimum package, which is like a lot. And that's when I'm like, when I get home, I will divide it up and freeze it for longer storage. I can make pasta with homemade tomato sauce in under an hour with no notice, which is also a good thing to do, or to be able to. I do think I have that in house as well, probably. Like we wouldn't starve, but I still tend to look at what's on sale and what do we have in house and is it a long time ago and stuff like that, because then I will stack a little up. Like, why would I pay normal price if I don't have to pay normal price? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And I'm looking at the time and I'm looking at this cake and I'm being like, maybe we can reach to a cake change. Or maybe it's just going to be on the edge. If it's going to be on the edge, I might option to wait for the practicality of moving the project around. But we'll see. But I mean, this is a pretty evident change when this one is going to happen. I'm just going to go to the top. I'll show you how the cake currently looks. In its gorgeous state. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay, hang on. I need to see what I'm doing. And look, you can definitely see a color change coming here. That's new color under here. We are getting rid of the flamingo. And that is turning into something even brighter. I'm unsure if we are in the cream already. Give me just one moment, please. I need to check the colors again in the cake. Could be that we're heading into the cream already. If that's the case, then it's only another 4 color transitions left. That would be logic, actually, based on how much I calculated. Ooh. Is it then what I remember? Or is it something else? It is going to be cream. Yeah, that is cream. So we're going from the flamingo into the light peach. And the light peach is the dark part here. And down here it's light peach with cream. That means that once this is complete, well, I have another 2 cakes. And then after here, there's a total of 4 color transitions. Because there's 1 strand of cream, 2 strands of cream, 3 strands of cream, solid cream, that's 4, plus these, and this is almost done. So this, let's count this as done. So that's 4, 4, 4, plus 2 of them has 2 extra because they have this full solid 2. So that's another total 14 in total transitions to go. I feel I'm getting really close to the end now, guys. Makes me happy. I mean, ooh. If I calculated correct, there's another 14. Well, technically, then a few less changes because of the 2, 2, 2. But I mean, we're really getting there. Since Costco is about 1.5 hours away, we go there about once a month and stock up. I have storage pantry in my basement. It looks a bit like a preppy pantry. Yeah, ours is like half an hour's drive. It's just more, it takes time. So we go there when I'm like out of chicken and a few other stuff. So we try to stretch it a bit. Is that cake the last of the yarn? Well, I have 3 cakes, right? And every time it changes color, I change to a new cake. That's why I'm calculating a total of another 14 color transitions, so to say. Because there's 4 left on this cake, there's 5 left on the 2 other cakes. So 5 plus 5 plus 4 is 14. And I have a solid upstairs as well in cream. And if I will not be able to make a full row of cream, because I can see how this goes, it's getting more and more difficult to get a full color go all the way. If it won't make a full row of cream, I will take the solid cream from upstairs and add that to the project. That is given the colors match. I don't know how because that cream is not bought around the time of these, so the dye lot could be different. I will have to check before we get there. Because optionally is that I just take that from the very beginning and go all the way through. But I want to make sure that the last round is a full solid round. It just looks nicer. It looks exactly like a prepper pantry. Hubby has his gun safe in there too. Love you, not preppers. Well, you need to hide your gun safes from regular eyes because you have people that could be jealous and break in and snatch them. Ridiculous as it sounds. So it's not the last cake, unfortunately. I have another 2 cakes looking like it. But we are definitely getting closer. Definitely. Four, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Not worry about anyone breaking in, just responsible gun owners and keep the far away locked up from little people. True. That should be done as well. I mean, still don't keep it in the open if it's not needed to. I could keep mine at home, but I keep them at the club. Because that's where I use them most of the time. Do, 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 do. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. My handgun is locked away in a drawer away from anything else. But I also do not have anyone here but myself and my wife. Okay. We need them close by. We've had an abundance of very bad brave coyotes this year. Oh, that's horrible. The coyotes who also start to domesticate themselves because they realize it's much easier to get food around people. Yep. That is no good. No long guns, so no need of a gun cabinet. I think it's just about like it needs to be in, and you need to know where you can easily get it, and yet it needs to be like out of sight, kind of concept. I don't know. It's gonna be a close call on this color cake. So it might just be me being like, yay! We managed to finish up the cake. I don't know. Or not the cake, the color on the cake. Because then we'll have a cake change. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. My goodness. The amount of stitches this requires. Handguns are a pain in the butt to get here. Air guns here is easy enough, but they're trying to change rules, so that could be a pain in the ass for me in the future. Small bore and other like non-air is a harder thing to get here. And it's not necessarily something that I'm in a hurry to get either. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, whatever odd. I'm not there. I live in Texas. They basically come free with a purchase of a soft drink. Yeah. I guess that's the reason one should go to Texas at some stage, just to experience the craziness of things. I mean, Texas, the land of the free. Yeah. It does seem a little bit lawless, though. But I guess not necessarily. I think it's just funny you have so like that the rules can differentiate so much between states, and yet it's like one big government that governs all. It's funny that it's not the same rules apply to every state then. And that, I guess, has to be confusing. Pick your state wisely, my friends, where you want to live, based on whatever rules they have and whatever risks you may have yourself. Oh, and he's married a guy from Texas. He goes nuts here sometimes with our gun laws. Yeah, I'll imagine. To be honest, they did run a background check when we bought it. That's fair enough. I think that should be a minimum in any case, right? Like, are they people who's like crazy peeps, or are they normal? Are they members of gun club? Can they use it? Like in the Netherlands, you need to, if you have a weapon that fires ammunition, so with powder, that could be a .22 or something like that. So not an air compressed gun. You'll need a permission from the government, and to get the permission, you basically also, and to keep your permission to have it, you need to attend the range showing that you're actually using it. You can't just get the permission and then have it and store it away to never use it. You need to have it used ever so often, or they will withdraw your permission to have it. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And I think that's fair enough, because else it's just a question of, once you have a permission, you can buy as many as you want. And that shouldn't be the case if it's useful or purposeful weapons. You should be able to actually use them and know how to use them. And I think it's like, I don't know if it's 12, I think it's actually 16 times a year you need to have shot your weapon. For handguns here, there's 4 levels of licensing you have to go through. Okay. We had to sign some paperwork, and that was it. Yeah, that wouldn't happen here. It would be a little bit more than just that. I can tell you for sure. Oh. Looks like we may just not make it, but it is close. I'm talking about the color change, by the way. Color change, cake change, whatever we should call it, consider it. We're getting darn close. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. It was a spur of the moment decision based on the way the election went. I was worried about things at the time. Still am, to be honest, but less so personally. Yeah, it's crazy, right? The world situation hasn't fixed itself yet. It's just still a freaking mess, to say the least. For long arms, it's 2 levels of slicing. Okay. In Denmark, my shooting club will need to approve me to have my rifle. Or I would need to be a member of like a hunting club or something like that. They could also approve me if it was for hunting purposes, but it has to have a purpose. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Our government is in court right now for trying to ban a whole buttload of guns. Oh, yeah. Here in the Netherlands, they want to make a shit ton of licensing as well for air guns, which is going to be a pain in the rear if that happens, at least for me. But I guess we will have to wait and see where it ends. Not much more we can do. Neighbor's home. I heard the dog barking. Oh my goodness. You are growing and growing and growing, my friends. Do the stitch. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I mean, it's not far. I kind of wish there was a bit more to getting done here. Too far the other direction. Yeah. I think it's okay that it takes some. But the reality is also if people want to do illegal things with guns, they will be able to get them regardless of whatever rules and regulation there is. And that is what people also need to keep in mind. The criminal world will always be able to get what they want. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. It just maybe they have a little bit of a harder time, but I mean, they will still get it. What should I do? I should actually, yeah, see how little we have to go. I'll withdraw my shoulders a little bit, which would probably mean we should go a little bit up, not much, like that. Then we can see how little is left on this cake. And I mean, we have another 8 minutes, so it's gonna be possible. Oh, got a warning for weather. I wonder what that's about. We're gonna have thunderstorms already tonight. Oh, they're warning that heat is coming our way. So let's see how warm it is, because honestly, when we started this live, it was around 24 degrees, which is not that warm. We know heat is coming our way, like Friday, but hasn't it gotten a lot warmer already? Oh, it's the same. It's the same. But it is true. It is going to get warmer the next couple of days. I'm less worried about a hitman. I'm more about the local crazy guy who had a temper and drinks. True. Most obviously, not all gun crimes are not committed with legally owned guns here. Same here. That's what I mean. Limiting guns is not necessarily eliminating the issues. Rev imagines that most Canadian gun crimes occur with firearms from the US. Probably very correct. Indeed, Lisa says correct. So, meanwhile, the weather in Winkler is conditions are mostly cloudy with a temperature of 65 degrees Fahrenheit, about 18 degrees Celsius. Wind is blowing from north-northwest at 5 miles per hour, and the humidity is 69. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Skip to do another 14. It is really gonna be darn close. I think if we don't fully get there, I may just pull out the yarn and cut because of the easiness again. I mean, this shawl is so big that when I'm moving it around, it's pretty inconvenient. It's attached to a cake of yarn. Goal for today to finish up those last few strands, plus adding an next cake and get work on that, because tomorrow we need to finish up another color, preferably a bit more. That would be nice, because if I do that, then we will likely have a color change again Friday. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Wouldn't that be cool? Local gun control lowers accidents, not so much crime. True. Someone inclined to leave a loaded, unlocked gun sitting around is less likely to due to all the paperwork. I think that's a fair assumption. Definitely. There was a long time ago this like cartoon post saying guns aren't killers. The people who use them are. It's the people behind, so to say. It's people who does it, which is technically true. A gun is not necessarily, in that sense, a weapon. A weapon is also slowly a word we would rather not use. If anything, it's sports equipment in my case. Or firearms. Because weapons sounds like something with intent to kill. And it's not. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Oh, we are so close. A gun does make killing much easier. It does. A gun is much of a killer as a machete. That's the person controlling the machete. Or an axe. It's a matter of skill also. Situation. Personality. You also sometimes have people who may occur to you as the absolutely perfect person, but yet they managed to do things that they really shouldn't have. I mean, there are stories where that's made me sad, as it's how on earth could it happen, or I didn't expect that and stuff like that. Because in the end, we don't know people, even with paperwork and all whatnot. Sometimes people can still be put in a situation where they will do things 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Oh my goodness, we are so close. But it's not, I think, looking at time, and I know I have to do stuff on time today as well. I'm gonna finish this going all the way down, then we'll round up that rest of the yarn and cut the cake and find the next to put on the spindle. More or less. It was a close call, wasn't it? A determined person can kill someone with a knife, but it's much harder to kill 30 people. Also, I think gun ownership by responsible people is a good thing. True. Well, here you can't legally own a magazine that holds more than 10 rounds. I think there are definitely rules on that in Denmark too. I don't know about here. But I sometimes feel that people have the weirdest guns where I'm like, how on earth? It's the rub, isn't it? Figuring out who's responsible. And against gun laws, I think it's good. I just think our government is overreaching with its current gun ban. Possible. I guess that's also why they're courting right now, right? Goodness gracious. So we have 6 rows left of this, which I'm gonna pull off. But I mean, it's like a couple of meters. And here we have a yarn knot. Ta-ta! So we are gonna cut this yarn. And this cake is now officially into its last 4. It still feels huge, but reality is it's actually quite small. Awesome! We can compare it to the other one here. You see, this is still with a full color transition. Oh, you can't see it down there. So that's a clearly lighter one. That's a difference after using up the rest of the flamingo. And that is going on now. And I will add that later. This is not that much. I'm okay with having to crochet up this later. It's very little. It's very overseeable. I'm super pleased. My friends, I'm super pleased. Which means that this is kind of a bit of a, look, this is how much space it takes just, you know, not being in my lap. It's big. It's working up super big. Cool. So what are we gonna do? We pop a bit light on. We go back to this one and pop up here and say hello. I mean, wow. It is working up nicely, but it is a crack ton of work. It's been a while since I did the double crochet V-stitch, not on flow state yet. I'll come. You know, for a yarn channel, we have some of the weirdest conversations we do. But I guess, wouldn't this also happen in your local stitch group? Like you would have some really odd conversations sometimes. And if we weren't weird, life would be boring. Also true. And it's pretty harmless, I guess. It's probably not completely R13 proof, but anyhow, just to now we have a decent light on. The sage. Look, 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 look. Compared to my eyes, or my eye, with the arrows. Isn't this gorgeous? It's the perfect color match. It matches me. It's a good color with me. My genetics decided that this is a good color for me. But I am going to put it up in my stash. Well, I will probably show it for my yarn talk next week, Friday. But I mean, further than that. You've heard the normies talking. Oh, no, thank you. Normies. normies. Thank you so much for hanging around with me today. It is a little bit past 5 p.m. here, which means that it is time for me to get going and get sorted, what's called dinner, and clear up this mess of a table I've created. Absolutely loved your company today. We had a great time. We had a great time of crafting. We finished up one complete color plus a bit. And I'm definitely going to work hard on us to finish another color tomorrow without you guys being live. And then I may not finish up that, but I'll do my best. And then maybe we'll still be in for a color change Friday. That would be so very cool. Thank you so much for hanging around with me today. Love you all. Take care. Happy crafting. Stay stitchy until either another video or until I see you Friday. Bye. Same time as usual on Friday. Take care and happy crafting. Love you all.